Well, we're going to get started. Today is our topic of Shine with Social Media and No Sweat Networking. And I'm going to show you first our Career and Transfer Resource Center at Dctc, which is online and has many resources. It's newly designed into different categories. Let me pull those up and you can see what that would look like. All right. If you're on the Dctc website, you can go to the search bar and then put in career transfer and you'll get to our page. There's also the alternative to go to the support services, and then you're going to scroll down by alphabet and you'll go to the C's. And there we are. Our career services email is right there, our phone number, which is at my desk. And the room right now is being used for alternative purposes, but you can certainly book online opportunities. And if I'm on campus to help you out, then we'll work in a computer room with the projector so that we have socially distanced activities. Here's the office overview, and that's where you can set up your virtual appointment. And I'm going to go into our Facebook in a minute. Here's the contact information. This Book Now link will take you right to my calendar and you'll be able to click on it. I'll just show you quickly. Today's very busy, so you'll see that there's only a 3 o'clock or a 3:30 p.m. I have hour-long appointments. If you want less, we can certainly set up that individually, or we can just cut it short. But it does free up other people to set up their appointments if we do book it for a half hour, if that's all you need, like such as a resume review. You can click on it and you would be able to then set up, add your details. It's very simple. You'll get a link when you're done that will help you out on the day of. It'll send a reminder beforehand, and then you'll be able to just click into it and have an MS Teams virtual meeting. I can also set up an individual Zoom if you prefer Zoom. All right, thank you so much. And then we have some other information here. On April 7th, before COVID started, we had a career fair that we are going to hold, and it had 55 plus employers signed up for it. So if you're looking for any jobs or internships, this is a great resource. It's a document that you can pull up, and it has employers here with all of the types of openings that they were hiring for at the time, as well as contact information. So you can see the recruiters' names and their email address. So that should be a helpful resource for you. It also has at the bottom colleges and universities. So those were going to be a transfer admissions opportunity for our students. Let me get you down there. It's a very long list of 55 plus employers there. The career fair for LGBTQ plus was moved, and it's actually October 22nd. You can find that news on our Facebook page. Augsburg University, here was contact information, Bemidji, and so on. If you need any current contacts, sometimes recruiters do change. Just reach out to me and I'm in contact with those same institutions. I can help you out. Some local area workforce resources are here if you're looking for unemployment insurance, dislocated worker benefits, or the Dakota and Scott County areas have career force centers which offer free opportunities for you. And we have an office overview flyer that goes through our services. Back to the main page. Right now you're participating in what's called a Career Leadership Academy certificate program. And so when you do 4 different activities, and at least 2 of them have to be in different competencies, I'll show you what that looks like, you can earn the certificate, which is a participation one. And that's per semester. Then we send you out a physical certificate for your participation that's signed by, well, it has this president's signature for Dctc and Inver Hills Community College, and a letter about your accomplishments. So the different competency areas are these 8, and these are based on National Association of Colleges and Employers, which has said that employers are looking for these types of competencies from the people that they're hiring. potential candidates and college students at both the associate and bachelor's and level primarily in the survey that was sent out to many different employers. The organization is 12,500 members of career centers and employers, and that's nationwide. Shine with social media, you see here is today's topic. And then tomorrow we have our Dctc and Hennepin Technical College Job Fair, which has 50 employers. So you would just go to that link and register ahead of time. And so you can see some different opportunities here. Any of these will qualify for the certificate. We have the need to know intern job search skills topics coming up in November, and each of those has employers that will be presenting. So thank you so much for participating. Let me give you some information here about cover letters and resumes. We have sample documents, including LinkedIn, which we'll be going through in just a moment. We also have our resume video. If you're looking for about an 11-minute quick shot on how do you create a resume, this is a great resource. You can watch that and then set up an individual appointment. We can review your resume. Let me go back to our Facebook page, which is on every page here, and I'll pull that up for you. So this is brand new and just launched. You can follow us right on here, facebook.com/DCTC career. And you'll see that Shine with Social Media was up there, as well as our, oops, I guess, let's take that off. Our virtual career fair and other news from employers and the transfer institutions, as well as military, who would usually do tabling right in our central commons area downstairs on the first floor of the campus. We are not doing that right now, but we hope to resume that as soon as we can. But at least we'll get news out here on the Facebook as an alternative. And thank you so much. It'd be great if you follow us and share those opportunities. Many are open to the public, like our career fairs are always open to alumni and students. You get free services from our office as part of being a graduate from the school. All right, another thing that I'll just show you quickly is our intern and job search area. Find a job or internship. When you click into that, you will find the job board. Right here, College Central Jobs. And that is a website that you can click to. Right here, you would go to register, and it looks like this. When you're on there, you could click into the students, and you would create your account. You'll use the star ID, but you don't have to use the same password. And then you can go ahead and search for opportunities. I'll just show you quickly what that looks like. Let me try that again. Oh, I see. I'm in the register area. Let me go back to the beginning. Thanks. The Search My Schools job is where you can find the opportunities for internship and positions that are open, as well as across from podcasts, you have the Career Document Library. There's interviewing PDFs, so different resources for interviewing, cover letter guide, resumes. More additional resume samples are here than there are on the main page of our website. And these are Word documents that you can download. We also have PDF versions. And then if you go to the top, Search My Schools Jobs, you can see by View All Jobs that we have an extensive amount, 435 today. It'll vary each day. The first page will be those positions expiring with a deadline. That doesn't necessarily mean the positions are closed as of that date. It may be about a month out from when the employer posted the original one. You can see here that these were posted back in July, so they may or may not be as current. It just depends on the employer. We encourage about a 30-day posting time frame. You can see many different pages. Sometimes it's easier to even go to this advanced search over here to the right side, and you could view jobs by different majors, by job types, or even advanced search will allow you to go down and put in a zip code and within how many miles that you would search, and whether you want part-time or internship, etc. Now you have 132 jobs to look at instead of so many others, 400 for the full-time. Thanks. I hope that gives you a clear picture of what we offer here in the office. And let me go back to our LinkedIn topic today. So it's social media. We're going to cover LinkedIn and to Twitter primarily. Facebook is another resource that we could go into at a different date. If you're interested, just let me know. So here we have our cover letters, resume, samples tab. When you go into that, you'll see that we have a LinkedIn guide, which I'll pull up here. And we'll be going through this somewhat. LinkedIn for students. Oops. This is a little older, 2016, so some of the links may not work, but it was a very thorough coverage. And then this is a LinkedIn profile checklist that we'll be going through. So how many of you are familiar with LinkedIn, right? So let me go through and show you that. I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment and check back in. All right. If you have anything to put in the chat, please add it there. And let me go back to sharing my screen. All right. So here's our LinkedIn. This one happens to be the one I'm signed into as myself. And notice that we have different kinds of in your feed, basically, very similar to what you would have in Facebook. These are the people that you're connected to on a first or second or even third basis, depending on who is posting. So for instance, SB Santiago is a university recruiting manager for Uber. In the past, she worked at Stanford University in the Career Center. So she is sharing and commenting, I should say, on this particular post. And so you could see that would be a second degree relation. Here is Carrie's stats. And I'm gonna love this, basically celebrate. So we have our career fair. So Carrie is our instructor, one of our instructors in the marketing program at Dctc. So she's announcing to students and alumni, you're invited to our job fair, register for it, blah, and here. So the information is shared. And I could go share that with others if I wanted to. So this is the kind of first degree relation you see right here first. That I've already been connected to her deliberately, right? And you can see that she's basically posted in a PDF document here as a one page, and see more. You could expand her posting and read the rest of it. I think that we'll go over in just a moment, what is the purpose of LinkedIn? What are the ways that you can use it and don't use it that way? Della is a consultant with DEED, the Department of Employment and Economic Development. And so notice that I am following her. So Della, I have not deliberately set out to make her quote, like a friend, but here in LinkedIn, we use different terminology. So that'd be a first degree connection is what we would say. And so notice that she's put out a posting here. And because I'm following, that means that I'm seeing any of her original postings, but not those that she would maybe perhaps like or comment on. That's the difference between a following and actually connecting with someone else. And I'm going to close my Outlook here so we don't get noises throughout the course of our presentation today. Amy Eppen and Emily Johnson have reacted to this. So there's a career fair virtually and so on. These are just different people that would be in my network. Let's go through and show you that there's sometimes organizations that you could be associated with or that they're promoting. Here VMware is promoting, and because I fall into a category like career counseling, career centers, workforce development professionals, HR reps, and so on, they are promoting to my audience, the people that would have that category, which is a setting that you have in LinkedIn. Here's Carrie again, and she's talking about incredible teamwork. And here's Della again. So you can see that there's many different people that we're going to find on LinkedIn as your network expands. Right now, I'll take you to the top again. You can see who's viewed my profile because I have a paid subscription. I do pay for it just to have some premium features. Views of my posts are about 47. I could click on this and I would see what it is that they were reacting to, and it was my virtual career fair that I shared from Amy Eppen, who's in our Alumni Association with DCTC. So if you're an alumni later on, definitely get hooked up into this group that she has on LinkedIn, and then you can have announcements that you'll know about different activities. Notice I have followers of about 2,320. So most of those would be ones I'm connected to. There would be a certain number that are more ones I have first degree connections with, and those that just follow me. And I am following 3,000 some people. So you can see that I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Let's go back to where we were, and I'm going to show you some documents now about what is it that we're doing with LinkedIn. The first document I'll show is how to effectively use it as a social media tool. I do not have this document nor these other four that I'm going to show you in a minute up here on our website for the Career Center, but I do want to just show you that these are available. If you want to reach out to me, I am happy to give you this recording along with any PowerPoints, or sorry, any materials that accompanied it. So LinkedIn is a networking website for professionals to interact with potential employers, and most people stop there and think that's about it, and that's not the case. How about current coworkers? How about your classmates at DCTC? How about alumni at DCTC? And so peers in your industry or field, or where you have worked, past, present employers that you've been employed with. So is mainly used to search for jobs, bolster a resume, and interact with companies while advertising one's skills. But I also find it extremely helpful once you're in your field to be connecting with your peers across the country or the world even. So benefits of LinkedIn: it allows employers to find you based on their needs and your skill set. Sure, so employers are going to search using specific criteria. One of the things is we have passive candidates and active candidates, right? So even if you are not actively looking, it doesn't mean that recruiters or hiring managers are not still maybe reaching out to you. There is a setting in LinkedIn that we can talk about where you can set it up that you're looking for a job and let recruiters know that information. And you can conduct company research. It's a fabulous way to go in and see a company, follow if they have job openings that they post in LinkedIn, and learn more about their practices, things that are going on, recent events, whatever their announcements are. You can look at their employee base, and we're going to show you that. Job alerts. And again, connect with industry professionals. So I think that's a really big part of it. Of course, when you're in smaller programs, you're going to be at DCTC in your courses and you're having classmates. Those classmates are going to move on after graduation. How do you get hold of them? How do you keep that connection? LinkedIn is that professional network for you. So it's no sweat networking, really. It's a really positive place to interact with others, to reach out, and people are very friendly. If you show that you are contributing to their network and you're not just saying, hey, I'm going to only connect with you because you might have a job opening that's come up in your company. But if you're regularly on there and they're seeing your activities as a regular course, that is certainly going to stand out. And so that's where you shine with social media, the topic today. Job alerts. You can get emails that concern the type of jobs that you want. You can get notices, get recommendations from others, and we'll talk about that in the profile section. Search for jobs. They are on there, so you can actively look besides setting up a profile and information that would feed you the types of openings that you want to see. How to correctly use LinkedIn. There's no need to pay. Most of the site is free. I just do spend a little bit of additional money for myself for my own purposes as a career professional. Alumni and industry, use the groups there to reach out to employees of specific companies that interest you. Also those that are groups within your peer group that could be based on maybe software. If you're in particular industry and you happen to follow, like marketing follows Salesforce, perhaps that's something to do. Update your profile every 1 to 3 months. Keep it up to date. That's really important. And if you just go in once a week and share something that you see in your feed or come up with your original posting, you're staying on the radar with people, and that's important whether you're working and just looking at future career advancement or actively searching. Research potential employers' information again. How to create an effective LinkedIn profile. Have an informative and catchy headline. We'll go through some of that. An appropriate profile photo. Display education. How about your professional summary that is going to showcase what you're currently seeking. If you're just working like I am and you're searching for employers for my students and alumni here at Dctc, that's how I've designed some of my profile. Fill in a specialty keywords section, and then people can endorse you for those. Update your status again frequently. Show connectedness to professional communities with badges. Those are groups that you can join, college institutions, etc., that show your interest in a career field. You can follow thought leaders, whether that's somebody famous like Bill Gates or Melinda Gates or whoever it is. Or somebody more specific to your industry or field, like higher education for me, for instance. Collect a diverse background of recommendations, and those can be ones that are written out, former colleagues or managers perhaps. Claim a unique LinkedIn URL. I do recommend that you get yourself named on your LinkedIn, so it's easy to put on a resume or portfolio or both. That's online. Share your completed work. Here, this is the main part where you can shine in your LinkedIn profile, is by creating a space that's online, almost like a portfolio, where you can upload videos, you could upload PDFs, flyers, different materials that are perhaps showcasing your accomplishments in your workplace, even ones that you might have outside in your own professional development or elsewhere, hobbies, interests, volunteering with different organizations, anything that you think would be valuable to your job search. All right, let me close that and get on to the social media do's and don'ts. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to keep in touch with people in your network, right? But then another thing is that this is places where people could search out and find information about you, and that's recruiters. And more recruiters do go to social media, especially now in our virtual world. They have less opportunity to get to know you in a personal space that's physical. So they're going to go online. Don't post anything online that could potentially be damaging towards yourself, your current position, or the company you work for or wish to work for. For instance, if you're in an internship, you do not want to be posting data privacy violating information if you're working with clients. And these are covered by HIPAA, so the health data privacy law. You do not want to be sharing any information that would self-identify anybody you're working with as a client, or if it's in a medical field. Negative messages about clients, coworkers, administration, bosses, etc., just avoid it. Don't post photos you aren't comfortable sharing with an elderly adult. Photos of alcoholic consumption, smoking, public displays of affection or inappropriate dress, and that just shows a lack of judgment and professionalism. Sometimes people say, well, I didn't intend to do something. Well, intent does not equal impact. As all of us kind of learn as we go through life, we have to be more cognizant and respectful of others, and just be very careful about how we're coming across and what we mean, and then clarify that. Don't be overtly negative on a website, blog, or social media site. That includes for DCTC. If you're out there on social media, interact with your classmates and with the school or other employers, etc., in a very proper manner. Don't spend time on social media sites while waiting for an interview or while working. So it shows you're not professional and cannot properly manage your time, of course. So if you're sitting there waiting for your interview or in the middle of an interview, now that we're in a virtual space for a lot of job openings, you do not want to be going through your browser, looking at different things while you're in the middle of your interview for certain. And then be timely, of course. Do use social media to network with individuals within your field of interest, as we said. Advertise yourself, shine. Have that no sweat networking. Search your name before applying for a job. See what images and websites are connected with you. And then you can arrange your privacy settings to cover that. Do post positive experiences on social media, job promotions, attendance at conferences, major accomplishments at work, having a great day on the job. How about the different deliverables? And that means what you deliver, what contributions you have in your workspace. If that's an internship, it's volunteer, or if it's a job and your career advancing, whatever the case may be. And this is older information, but 91% of hiring managers interviewed said they look at Facebook, 76% look at Twitter, and 48% check LinkedIn. That is so much higher now for LinkedIn in particular, although Facebook too. Let me go on to our next document. The Ultimate LinkedIn Profile Template. This is a document that I came across online by John Nemo. And I thought that it just had some pretty helpful short tidbits, fill in the blank, a LinkedIn summary script. So what do? I help with what? And so your target audience, and then achieve what is their goal by providing, and what are your services or even a product that you perhaps have. Who do I work with? So you partner with what kind of target audience or industry type, and then you can fill it in, including, and you can put in industry names or company names, vendor names, customers that are freely able to be shared on social media, right, to the public. So let's say that you have a public blog where they have already been featured as a success story or a very happy customer or something like that. You could then incorporate that into your LinkedIn profile. You would not want to share proprietary information from your organization without explicit and written, probably, permission. Insert bullet, why it works. So you could say, when you partner with, and then have your company name, so Dakota County Technical College, you get the most, and then the career and transfer resource center, I'd say, you get the most efficient, effective, and I wouldn't say affordable, but I would say mutually beneficial or something, access to our students and alumni to connect with as potential candidates for your hiring needs, and the target audience, what it's looking for right now. So you could talk about, we have 55 plus majors, about 100 credentials, and these job seekers have a 96% total employment rate upon 12 months after graduation, and about 92% are in related work within that 12 months following graduation at our college. So, I mean, that's impressive, right? And that's with a 93% response rate, basically. What makes me or us different? So how do you stand out as unique from similar vendors or competitors? How many years of experience do you have? Certifications and patents? Personal, one-on-one attention or customer service support? How do you stand out, basically? Shine. What others say. And here you could even have some testimonials in this area and how it works. Explain your process, like how do you get hold of me, or how do I identify the needs that you're coming to me with, and how do I set you up for the services that I can provide. And then your contact information, have it right there in your summary. I think that's super helpful. And then they had some great LinkedIn summary examples. Some of those might be old by now, but it's just a good way to put together your format. And that, again, is available as a document that I can go through. Well, I'm going to go on to this in a little bit here because it's more about Twitter also, but I just want to bring you to a profile. Ann Pryor is a social media expert. She has presented with the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Magazine audience in personal workshops before COVID that she would actually go to with hundreds of people. She's also known for this Lovitude soul kind of painting that she does. It's her side business gig that's just for fun, but she's been featured, I believe, on Oprah or on TV, and she's even donated to a dislocated well, it was, I guess, a career force center, and I think it was the Twin Cities here. She helped out that they had laptops distributed to people that were out of work. So, I mean, Ann Pryor, I've known her for about 12 years, I think, and she's just fabulous. But here's her about. Notice that your summary or about is pretty short nowadays. So you have to get things that are going to catch people's interest right away. Internationally recognized top 2 LinkedIn authority. So that's what she's bringing to us. Wow. Oh, we should talk to her, right? I advise, guide, and inspire my brilliant global clients. She works for an organization here in the Twin Cities that is global, that is well known in the career arena for private clients and for those that are executives and so on, to seeking their next career business owners, sales leaders, and attorneys to be bold and step into their soul's work on and offline. Now, she's putting in some things that make her stand out for the culture that she brings, right? Who she is as a professional, known as the LinkedIn Whisperer. Okay, so she's an expert in LinkedIn in particular, right? She'd mentioned that before. And then here's her contact right away so that you're pulled into what? Then depressing and finding out more. So her contact information. Successful clients hire me for results. Remember, just like we went through that template a little bit ago, she's giving us some of her key takeaways right here. And it's in some colors. These are things that are in capital letters. They stand out. It's organized. She has different emoticon type, not emoticons, but bullet points that are going to show up. Also, she did that up here with breaking down her headline, which we always want to have a headline that describes what we offer. What is it about us that stands out rather than just a job title? Results-focused LinkedIn trainer. And then she has here something, I landed at Cargill, so she has a success story, somebody that is endorsing her. I have trained 150,000 plus people and written 20,000 SEO means search engine optimization branded LinkedIn profiles. So she's able to help you with how do you show up at the top of a feed like a Google search so that you're one of the ones that stands out and people can find you easily and click in even if they didn't know they were looking for you. So not specific to your name. After working with Ann on my LinkedIn strategy, I generated over $550,000. I highly recommend Ann. Wow, that's a #1 leadership author. And then here she's saying some other things here. Job seekers, sales leaders achieve their goals. She's an inspiring keynote speaker with, and she names presented at Cargill, Mayo Clinic, etc. Coaching clients to unearth their soul's work. Does this play into her side passion area? Of course, the solitude, soul painter, lovitude, I should say. My freedom plan portfolio life. I live a portfolio career with 5 revenue streams. So in other words, she has 5 different areas of self-employment or employment that bring into her different revenue. So the way she makes her monies and her funding. And then it's called a portfolio career. This is very popular among graphic design, photography, theater, anybody in the arts field pretty much would go with that word, probably portfolio career, because they have a number of different gigs that are bringing in their revenue. Nationally recognized Levitude Soul Painter, again on the Hallmark Channel, and I thought she was on Oprah too, but that could be different. Painting is hanging at a Mayo Clinic and galleries. My dad was a banker, and this is her purpose. So she's bringing in some personal life, and she's just saying, it's like George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life. My generous mom was a teacher and co-founder of the first food shelf. My 4 brothers and I were embodied with values to be kind, give back, and we are all equal. I know Anne, this so embodies who she is. She's a generous and just kind and giving person. All right, see the 6 sections here, featured. I'm going to back up a little so you can kind of get a feel for how this is looking now that you see a profile. So notice that what are her top skills? Leadership, coaching, personal development, relationship building. Then you could see highlights. I have 198 mutual connections with Anne. We're both in the career development field, so that's pretty popular. Here are some featured kinds of promotional portfolio items, basically. So you can see that you could click on these documents and you would learn more. So this is probably a screenshot that she put up, 9 tips to make sure employees look trustworthy on LinkedIn, and it's a 4-minute read. This might even take us to the actual article. Yep, so you could click here and it would take you to the article. So yeah, this is a very rich LinkedIn profile, right? You're getting the idea. And then the activities, she has 15,000 followers, almost 16,000. And if you did see all, you could actually see what she's posted most recently. And this would be all activity. But if you wanted to look only at her articles, only at her posts, or the documents that she has shared, you would find those. And you can see that this is the feeds that you're all familiar with by now. And we're going to go down. So what's next? Experience. Experience for our college students can look many different ways. It does not have to be workplace only. This could be including credentials. It could include hobbies or interests that you have had for a long time that you want to showcase that may be valuable in a search or in career advancement opportunities. So anything of interest to bring here to stand out is what you're looking for. So again, LinkedIn expert, self-employed, and then she names her company name. How long? 12 years. And then notice here again, see more. So she has some of the most useful information up at the top. She's giving away to people. Like if I came in here and I wanted to use some of these symbols, then I could copy and paste them into my LinkedIn profile, and I think I did use one of hers actually, but recommendations and so on. So she's talking about LinkedIn workshops that she does, online branding strategies, etc. Let's connect. Again, here is her information and her daily times. So she can be available from 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning Central Standard Time at that phone number generally. Wow, look at her. And then I don't know why the 33, maybe she's big into threes. And then here are some of her items that she has for her portfolio. I have used her checklist, which is right here, a best LinkedIn profile checklist, but since I'm taking you through this live, I'm saving another resource for you that would have, let me get rid of that. Our Teams, even though I closed it, shows up on my computer while I'm recording. So this brings you through all the different areas of a profile and gives her tips and tricks. And so you could look at that right there. And you can pull those documents up and make them larger. And so on. She has 21 over here, so 25 almost different artifacts, you could call them, right? It's like a portfolio. Here is her soul painting, and here is a LinkedIn expert on a contract for the last 2 years. She's also a LinkedIn online instructor with her full-time job, I believe, or maybe it's part-time, but she's been at Career Partners, that global company I talked about, for a very long time, working with executives and so on. 12 years for that. Yeah, the 12 years I've known her then. Okay. Self-employed also, remember she had those 5 revenue streams she talked about. And if you go and show 5 more experiences, there's going to be others down here. Education. For you at DCTC, this is really important. What is your education? You can put artifacts in here. You could put in some school assignments. You could put in some scholarship recipient, all sorts of information that could be very useful to showcase what you've been doing in your college experience. And if you don't have a lot of work experience, this is a place to really make it much broader and richer than maybe somebody typically would, right? And remember, you're at a technical college. You've been applying your learning in lab experiences, in the classroom, outside of it in assignments, possibly depending on your major, that included equipment or technology. And you have that opportunity here to build on that, to showcase it. How about licenses and certifications? So if there are some, like for marketing, let's say, or business, if I'm in HR and I went for the Society of Human Resource Management, SHRM, so those in Scott Gunderson and Harold's and others classes, that's something put in here. And then volunteer experience. If it's one Saturday, one Sunday here and there, no. But if it's a volunteer experience that you've spent considerable time on, including for her 10 years, wow, for that. But even just a 3-month stint, something that's consistent and a little long lasting, please do put in volunteer experiences. It shows a character and kind of picture of who you are, helps you stand out. Here are those different skills and endorsements. See that you can say that LinkedIn, she has 99 plus. If I click on this, Christine, I know Chrissy, she's at the U of M, College of Science and Engineering in the Career Center. I know Tara, so you can see these are all similar first connections. All of these people are ones that I know. Jennifer Radke, she's done the PowerPoint presentation for the Minnesota Career Development Association, which I'm going to go through that slide presentation in just a moment. So you can see how interconnected our lives are. Remember, I just said Jennifer Radke, and I have a resource from her career workshop. Well, that's just suddenly out of the blue. It's nothing I planned that I was going to see her here endorsing Ann Pryor. So we live in a world that's much more intertwined and smaller than we ever imagine. So the way that you stand out and shine on social media is really important. It is no sweat networking because I know these people. It's no sweat to reach out to Kim Bartels or to Chrissy or any of these. So that's how it works. Recommendations, 134. Unreal. She's given 118. But 134 recommendations is incredible. Obviously, we're not going to look through all of those, so that's a bit maybe what we could call overkill. But of course, you want to have some different ones that you're featuring. Projects. Projects can be really helpful, and what's nice about projects is you can actually click on, they change always the different things, ways that we do LinkedIn pretty consistently. So if you haven't been in LinkedIn for a while, you want to get in and do it fairly regularly because they do change up the way that you access information or add it sometimes, and you want to keep up to date. Keynote speaker at the University of Minnesota Humphrey Institute. I knew she was involved with them. So all of these could be areas that you can add in others that you worked with, that you are partnering with. And because I'm your only presenter today, I'm going to take some water. And so you could, feature these people and they have to approve that they're added to your project. Publications, so there would be show more if you want to get into all of those. Publications, and you would see different ones that she's in. Here they are. There's more. 13 organizations, 12 courses, honors and awards, etc. Now, this is a lot of information, and you don't have to do that much. In fact, you probably don't want to, because people are just going to get tired if they have to think that they want to look through all of this. But National Speakers Association here, blah, blah, blah. The Twin Cities Tourism Attraction Association, International Association of Near-Death Studies. That's interesting. That has to do with her soul painting, I think. Minnesota Career Development Association, of which I'm a part, Walker Arts Center, Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. So all of these are showing us a picture of things that are important to her or that she's been active in and developed and part of her portfolio for her skills, abilities, knowledge, connections, etc. So if I'm hiring her, these are some really powerful things that she's sharing with me, right? Here are interests, and these can be, like I said, following Bill Gates or Mark Cuban or Oracle or Microsoft or whatever it is in your industry or field that is something that you want to feature. Remember, people are going to see this. Notice that LinkedIn has a messaging service. So if I wanted to send Anne a note, I could do that. And so I might do that, actually. So I'm going to send her a note about seeing, I'm going to say, hi, Anne. Hope all's been well. Oh, so she had some nice message from our last time that we talked. So you can see it right up here. Hope all's been well. I noticed your Levitude enterprise seemed to have donated computer hardware to the Career Force is the name of the workforce centers. Career Force Center community. You are your generosity and care. Warm regards, Jessica. So I'm going to keep it simple. But those are things that you can do is to keep your connection with people. Like obviously I haven't talked to Anne or connected with her for a while. So that's what a profile can do, to shine on social media and to create no sweat networking. Wow, I can go through more now, right? We're about an hour in and we have a half hour left to our topics. So I'm going to get more into the details. Notifications. Notifications are where you're going to have recent news for different, why is it not showing? Oh, that's strange. Let me go back to my home. Notifications. It's not working currently. That's very strange. But anyway, you would have a whole list of different recent notifications that would show up here. You would have messaging where I just was. You have my network, which you can find out about invites, those that you have outstanding and those that you have recently connected with. Here's, I have more teammates, but I think that was more to do with a project. So I can just give you a picture. These are the number of connections that I actually have, not those I'm following. Remember, my other number was a larger number. And here's new posts. Let's try again the notifications. It's showing one. I don't know, not working. Sorry about that. Sometimes LinkedIn has some problems. I'm going to show you what, well, I'm going to show you the marketing group first. So remember how I said you can look at employers, you can look at different groups that might be based on your interests, like field of work, etc. So you can see that DCTC has a marketing group, the Marketing and Sales Program Group. Some of your programs for majors at the college may have these, and instructors generally are the ones that are navigating them. So you could look up anything for DCTC. You could also look up employers. So if I look up Ziegler Cat, they're very heavily involved with our transportation program at the college. Oh, that's why. I think it's Ziegler Caterpillar right here. They spell it differently than I do with an ER. So Ziegler Caterpillar has a lot of our graduates who work there. See all 788 employees on LinkedIn. Andrea works here. So Andrea is a connection of mine on the HR team. So that's why she's showing up. But you can see their jobs, you can see videos, the people, etc. About, so a message from Caterpillar, we're hiring, we're continuing to support our customers, blah, blah, blah. And last week we got to play around with the 6-way grader blade. And so you're just learning more about the company or products here usually. There's 431 employees that work in the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Some of these are connections. 6 employees attended the University of St. Thomas. Now, if we look at our DCTC crowd, and we're going to do that in a little bit here, I could show you the alumni that actually work for Ziegler. So if we go to jobs, there are no jobs right now. Well, they do usually have jobs that would show up here, and I follow those. So you could create job alerts, and then you would know of any openings. You can visit their website right here. And so notice I am following already this organization. So you could follow organizations that you're interested in. See all the employees on LinkedIn. And how many are connections? You could say first or second degree connections, the locations where they are, greater Minneapolis, Iowa, United States, etc. There are other filters. That's the people. Let's see if the jobs will show up from the past here if I do this. I haven't tried that before. Those are different jobs. Okay. All right, so then you could clear them, etc. I'm going to show you what it looks like now to go to Dakota County Technical College. And Technical College, and the group or the school. We're going to go to the school because what we're looking for now is alumni. How do we search for alumni? You can see that I'm going to view this as a member. I am also an administrator, so I don't want to show it that way. But there's these people are 79 of my connections work here. See all 328 employees on LinkedIn. So that would be those that in the past have also been part of this. There's 8,040 alumni working in the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And I'm not certain how many years that goes back, but we have a 50-year-old institution this year. 811 alumni graduated in 2013. So you could look for certain years. And you can see that we have 10,000 followers and 9,595 plus alumni. Particularly, I don't know if that jobs would have anything particular. Don't think so, yeah. But let's go to alumni. All right, how do we search for alumni? Here, notice the years you could set up. So you could do it within the last 5 years, 2015 to 2020. etc. But you might not want to limit yourself. Like for instance, now you could see from those 5 years that 2,000 have lived here in the United States. Almost everyone, 2,000 nearly, are in the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul area where they work. 37 graduates that finished their graduation and started their school experience between these 5 years, which limits it quite considerably. If I take that out, let's see if it'll renew for me. I'm going to just make sure that I do this fresh so that we can see. Okay, so let's get back to the years without any criteria. Now you can see that 9,537, 8,000 live here in the greater Minneapolis where they worked, etc. 79 total graduates that are on LinkedIn have worked here at Dakota County Technical College, formerly or presently. How many are at other companies? Well, we can see that the largest ones are Target, Fairview, US Bank, Wells Fargo, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, etc. And you can see the people now. And so what would be helpful to you, right, is to look at what is the major that you graduated with. So if I say biomed, then what I'm going to come up with is anybody that had a biomed degree program. And you'll see that these people have either biomed in their title or job title, that would be, or they happen to have graduated from the program. So somewhere in their profile is biomed. But if I want to get very specific, and I could do biomedical equipment, now it's going to be even more of trying to drill down and decipher who are the exact people that we're looking for that might have had that major. Here you can see that either they have a job exactly biomedical equipment or they graduated, and or I should say, most have graduated from that program. So 2014, 2019, 2012, 2017, and so on. Now, does everybody have to have graduated in order to be on this list? Not necessarily. Again, if their job title was that and they left the program, or they're in an entirely different program, or they just organically, through their job experiences and career advancement, moved into it, that could be a possibility too. So this can be a very good way to do informational interviews. What do you know about informational interviews? Well, that's what they are, is to get information from others, to find out how did they progress through from their original career field into their education and experiences in the past to where they are presently, right? So that could mean that they had an entirely different degree than what you would typically see in that industry area, and then they moved into it. So this is kind of fun, is to reach out to alumni and just say, you know, hey, I'm in the biomedical equipment program at Dctc. I'm going to graduate in the summer of 2021 and I'm looking for an internship. Not that I would want to necessarily be searching only with your organization if there were an opportunity, but I'm interested in what your experience was in finding your internship when you were going to school here in 2018 or 19, whatever it was, and say, and how you career advanced into your present position. Would you be open to an informational interview? And you could reach out to alumni, and that could be right in your connection with them in their by clicking on a profile. I'm going to go to George. Here's George. So George is one of our biomedical equipment specialists. He is now at the Mayo Clinic. And so if I was going to connect with him, I'm already connected with him, so I won't see that, but I can message him now that I'm in here. Notice that he went to school at Dakota County Technical College. So this shows his top skills, his mutual connections, etc. If I was going to find somebody that was, I want to go back to the 31 alumni here, and I just pick one that I don't know. So this is a second degree connection. And if I wanted to connect to him, I could, but what will happen is I want to go to more. Okay, Connect, add a note here. See, I know LinkedIn always changes. So you can add a note to personalize it, and that's where you could even introduce the idea of an informational interview, but keep it pretty short. You only have 300 words, and then you could type it into here. I'll show you something quick. I didn't think of this ahead of time, but let me pull it up for you. Actually, let's go back to certificate. And if I'm in here and I go to our professional etiquette topic I had professionalism in the workplace. This PowerPoint, I was showing people how to do LinkedIn invites in here. Let's go down to this area. Here it is. The perfect custom LinkedIn invitation. Hi, Lindsay. I really enjoyed the article you wrote on interviewing tips and would love to connect and follow your work. I run sales training at a car dealership in Virginia and frequently have to interview prospective salespersons or people. For open positions, I'm always looking for ways to improve our selection process. Keep up the good work. All the best. John Doe. So one of the things that they recommended was to be honest, tell them how you know them, find something in common, make it personal, be enthusiastic, reference their profile, and thank them. And hopefully you're not doing this just for the sole purpose that, hey, I want to use a person, right? You just want to create a connection and then build on that for a future, maybe opportunity, or just to be a peer-to-peer, and keep that opportunity going for the future. And maybe someday they kind of cross paths. And you'd be surprised at DCTC how many of your classmates end up being a supervisor in small programs or very narrow niche programs, along with their having colleagues, team members, as they move around to different opportunities. We're about 20 minutes or less actually now away from where we're going to leave off on this topic. So I'm going to switch over to Twitter for a little while and then do a blended presentation with both LinkedIn and Twitter to give you a feel for what these two activities are like from a recruiter's perspective. And Jennifer Radke's presentation I'm going to show you in a minute from that end. So here is your Twitter feed. Twitter, by the way, can be followed. You can look at all of the different fields for the people that have profiles without your own account. You don't have to have a Twitter account. If I go onto Google and I started looking up Jessica Ayub and Twitter, I could find my account without having to have my own Twitter. There's 7 notifications, so this is how a notifications would typically look in Twitter. Again, in LinkedIn, it should be there. I don't know why it isn't today. In case you missed, so these are people that I follow or get very involved in. I do a lot of likes on their particular pages, so they're coming up first as notifications that are trying to get me involved. Oh, also mentions. You can be an @ and then mentioned by name. So replying to Jessica Ayub, here is what she's doing, is Tiffany liked something I said. If we go to my profile, this is what you can do, is consistency of branding is very helpful across platforms. So if I'm in my LinkedIn and I'm in my Twitter, if I can use the same headshot and the same background, like banner, that I use in both of those. And by the way, this is a non-copyrighted banner that I found off Google Images. So you can just go to google.com, click on the images, search for a non-copyrighted material of an image, and then you can find one that might be a fit. And then just make sure when you import it in and the dimensions are working out for the particular platform of social media that you're using. I typically with mine here in Twitter, want to tell people the purpose of why I'm using it. So I believe in serve others but our own talent development. So in other words, our professional development among my peers and what I do is extremely important to me. I am very active with the National Association of Colleges and Employers. That's right here. There's again 12,500 members of the organization and many different people. Career centers from Stanford and Johns Hopkins and George Mason University and Rochester Institute of Technology, I mean, to the local St. Paul College, Minneapolis College, and so on. We're members of this organization, along with the employers. So I am very active in leadership and volunteering with these organizations, National Career Development Association. Oh, they changed their, I remember now, they have a new account, but I'll have to change that. Sorry. Let's go back to my profile. So I'm part of a magazine for our membership of that organization, which is 5,000 or so across the world. It's a world global organization. I'm at Dctc and I'm in career services. And then something about me and some of my interests are a multicultural enthusiast, enhancing vocational aims of a fulfilling life. I'm saying tweets are my own and retweets are not endorsements. I have my LinkedIn profile. When I joined was 2012, so 8 years ago. And then I tweet and follow. So I have 827 followers. And then here are tweets and replies. So tweets would be my original ones. Tweets and replies are those I replied to. So I generally try to keep politics out of my, or, you know, specifically very personal topics out of what I do for my sharing. I mostly concentrate on from peer-to-peer professional networks. And I learn a lot from others. There's many different conferences, local and regional kinds of events that we have for our field, just like you're going to have those for your field. So you pick the purpose of your Twitter. Is it for your own business purposes? Are you representing your organization, your employer on Twitter, and this is more of a business purpose, or is it your personal purpose? Are you sharing information? Are you trying to connect with others on particular hobbies? Are you into, I don't know, and there's so many things you could be into, photography, let's say, and are you sharing a portfolio site? I have a son that's in IT, so he's sharing a lot about IT topics and on some courses that he has created for a platform that is professional development related for IT professionals. He happens to work at a very large organization in web development. So this is the kind of purpose of what you're trying to share, and that's important for whatever social media you're looking at, is identify your role with it. What are you going to do with it? Have a plan. Not just willy-nilly, because people get confused. It's almost like a branding experience, right? You want to give them a picture of who you are and why they should follow you, why they should interact with you, or why it's interesting to them when you're applying in a potential candidate for positions or career advancement with your own organization. So again, you're just following. This is your feed of different people within your network. I could follow organizations. I could follow, for me, I'm in higher ed, so I can actually follow peer-reviewed article publications. There could be newspapers, like the Chronicle for Higher Education is a newspaper for higher ed professionals, and so on. So it could be employers that you follow here. It could be thought leaders that you want to get connected to, or maybe you're interested in particular organizations, so you start to follow those. Some even have their own job boards. So if I search Twitter and I go to Comcast jobs, let's see if they have one. Some of these have Facebook accounts with jobs, by the way. Yep, Comcast Careers. So you could follow their postings and learn more about their organization and what they value. Comcast is particularly interested in diversity and inclusion and also military professionals. They have an extraordinary program for military professionals, military and affiliated, I should say, including their families. And that includes those that are active in National Guard or reserves to help them to deploy. So what you learn about organizations, see Comcast Military, that can be helpful is right here on the link on Twitter's. You can find out about who to follow, and it could bring you to associated organization accounts that are a little more specific, or others that they own, like NBC Universal and Comcast are the same company, if you didn't know that. So all the television and Disney, like Harry Potter movies and things of that nature. I guess it's not Disney, but Harry Potter movies. Yeah, so this can be a very valuable resource for you. I guess let's show you a message, not a message, but a tweet. So if I was going to do a tweet, you know, you could put in here an @ sign. And then if I wanted to have NACE.org right here, know about this information, I can then put in their start of their hashtag, not hashtag, but their account name. The @ sign will indicate that, and then they can be tagged. They'll know that they're tagged, and they can reply, like, share. They could do different interactions. They could ignore it too. And so anyone can reply is the setting. I could add a GIF, which is those motion images, and those can be found off Google Images. And then we could add in some charts, graphs, pictures, etc. So you can then just post in what you want to say. The idea would be to keep it short, not very long, and interactive, positive, something that you can, I guess, showcase and shine on social media. I'm getting lower on time, so I'm going to switch over now to that presentation that I talked about. And this was from 2018 October. We had the Minnesota Career Development Association. We had a LinkedIn, Twitter kind of topic from the hiring manager's perspective, from more on the recruiting. And it was Jen Radke, Jennifer, that I showed you. So LinkedIn and Twitter, the secret to helping job seekers. And just ignore my bad notes, I was just scribbling. But overview of personal branding, identifying keywords with the biggest impact, LinkedIn tips and recommendations, and Twitter tips and recommendations in a question and answer. And so this slide presentation is available from me if you would like it. 60% of recruiters at the time in 2018 she had this were using social networking sites to research candidates. 41% of employers say that they might not interview a candidate if they can't find them online, and that would be in particularly industries like IT, marketing, especially marketing, business, HR. If you're not on some sort of social media, it's a little strange, and not that they would, I hope, not interview you, but it could be a major part of even a job description. So the more you know about social media in certain fields and major areas, the better. Personal branding. What do you want others to know about you? How can you best share that information? Does it differ between platforms? And if you'll recall, I showed you a resource not too long ago at the beginning of our session, which was this LinkedIn handbook for students. In here, we go from topics like privacy and your privacy settings, and backing up information like your network of connections. You can actually download your network, the people that you're connected with. Creating and developing a profile, there's information here. And sharing content and connecting authentically, like we talked about. How do you get your network going in a no sweat way? 7 ways LinkedIn can help you get hired, etc. Personal branding and career advancement is a section. And 10 tips for writing a professional resume with a personal branding brief video. 5 ways to use LinkedIn to get promoted. Has been like Price Waterhouse Coopers, PwC. Careers had a personal branding as a college candidate with a workbook and video. I'm not sure if that's still active. This was, again, put together by me at Dctc some time ago. But there's many different, topics here, articles. Twitter, can 140 characters get you a job offer? It used to be limited to 140 characters. Nowadays, you can do more, but still, I would use that as a good rule. So this resource is available on the Dctc website. This LinkedIn profile checklist for college students is also on there, and I'll show you. These are going to be located under cover letter and resume samples, the LinkedIn guide, and the college student LinkedIn profile checklist, okay? Thank you. And going back to our topic, understanding the personal brand. What do you want others to know about you? So that, and what are you getting out of each platform? What are you going to have for your strategy, and how others can react to you, I guess, and follow you and get involved and engage. Recruiters will disqualify candidates if they find evidence of the following on their social media profiles. And it could be provocative or inappropriate content, etc. Bad mouthing, anybody really, but especially prior companies, and poor communication skills, bigoted, of course, content, alcohol, drugs. Building a brand, consistency is key, and activity, she tried to have us do an activity like what's our purpose, keywords, focus upon keywords and phrases that you want others to find you for. So for Jen Radke, she's a social media, and training would be one of the areas that she would want. Keywords, put those in your profile. Also, when you're doing your resume applications, especially with civic employers like government and federal, state, county, city, all of these different ones, especially they're going to want keywords in their applicant tracking system, which is the careers or employment site that you go to when you're applying for a job. So add those keywords. Be specific. Listen. Don't stuff your profile with a lot of content, but keep it very targeted towards what your purpose is. If it's for job search, then go there. There are 2 new LinkedIn members every second back in 2018. This is old data. It is so big right now. I would include a professional photo. Absolutely. It's really key that you do that. I mean, I think mine was here. The Minneapolis Workforce Center rep says that they have about $25 for a headshot. South Metro Career Force Center, I believe if you go there, it's free to get a headshot, but basically for about $50 to $75, you should have an ability to have a professional give you at least 2 images, and then you can pick from. And that's after they've done some, making it look good, editing your photo. So no logo, but show your personality. I did see a logo once on a picture that I thought was really smart. It was open to opportunities. So it was like hashtag and then what was it? Open to opportunities. I think it was OTO or something. And that's what it meant, is that they were open to getting hired. So that was cool. So bad and worse, she had some examples here. Headlines, so describe what you do, describe why you're awesome, and benefits of hiring you are very important in your headlines. She had some examples here. Again, you'd have to get this document from me, but here's some. And she asked our opinion about these. Of course, some are very plain. People are primary. Yeah, that's not going to help you very much. University of Minnesota School of Journalism and Mass Communication, well, proud of you, but I don't know what that means. Like, what's your job title, or what's the what is it that I'm going to hire you for? Are you in marketing there? Are you a professor there? I mean, give us something. Here's another one where they're dividing up their different areas: inventor, industrial designer, perceptive problem solver, creative rock star, speaker, volunteer for blah, blah, blah. Not better, definitely better, but creative rock star, I don't know about the rock star part. What is the value you bring? Catch their attention right away. In your summary, use keywords to be found, search engine optimization, etc. Searching. The people, jobs, content, groups, and connections, have all of that filled out on your profile, so that if you're being searched from Google, is what she means. So Boolean words, you know how you can put in certain words that are going to be found in a search engine, then that could be a way to be found, is have those keywords in your profile. So there's engaging 5 things in 15 minutes that you can do. You could write a letter of recommendation to someone in 15 minutes, and that could be a positive connection with somebody that you used to work with. So it's about reciprocity, right? It's about support of others. It's not about take, take, take. So add some new connections, review people who viewed your profile. If you have a paid account, you can see who has viewed your account. Conference attendees, if you go to something, or even following on Twitter. I've for many years followed conferences on Twitter or thought leaders, and I've connected to people that way. Hiring managers, you could also connect with. If there's people that are hiring managers within your network, you could start to build your connections with them over the years. Share valuable content, we talked about that. Comment on other people's content, congratulate others, they always like that. And update your profile and participate in groups. Thought leaders. You know, you can become a thought leader. How about that? You don't have to just follow people. You can have original content become a part of your profile, and members not in your network can follow you. You're searchable both on and off of LinkedIn, and you show up with the analytics that, you know, how many views have you had, etc. Know your audience. So you have to know how to get shareable content out there in the world, right? Out there in that social media world. Be creative, study your audience and your market, and know what they are looking for. And here's some Twitter information. Now, Jen Radke has about 10,500 followers, a heck of a lot more than I do. So terms, personal IDs, just have your email handle or whatever it is. So for handle, that was the word I was looking for Twitter. That's where your account is under. So at, and then whatever it is. Retweet, sharing someone else's tweet. A hat tip is a thank you to a person, HT, and then at. So you could just go capital H, capital T, @ their handle, and then you're telling them, hey, I'm giving a hat tip to you, thank you. Hashtag, those allow for searching and targeting. So if you want to have hashtags that are very popular, you're going to show up in those feeds. And that may or may not be good, right? Because it kind of depends on what it is. Are you going to get a lot of advertisements coming your way? So just be aware of that. What is the hashtag that you pick out? And go visit it first. Make sure that the content is measuring up and matching to your own kind of needs and desires for what you're trying to accomplish there. Direct message, and going into the personal inbox and actually sending someone your message. A heart, similar to a like on Facebook. That's what we have for favorites within Twitter, is you click on the heart and that's your like. And the feed, of course, is where you see other tweets. For your profile in Twitter, add a picture, header, and profile photo, and that's the banner I talked about. Share a bit about you, location if comfortable. You could just say Minnesota. Website or personal blog page, and of course it's unprotected information. Like I said before, you can be searchable by that. here she's giving you some examples of a banner with the picture, who to follow. The focus is on folks that you find interesting, people from your industry, influences in your space, recruiters, HR professionals, and you can follow anyone without permission unless they have a protected account. Some have protected accounts on just their tweets, so you can't retweet them. Hashtags allow you to involve real conversations that are going on. Again, those hashtags can be in LinkedIn too, by the way. It's a possibility. Popular hashtags are job search, hiring, resume, careers, employment, etc., all for job seekers. So those are helpful to know. Put your items in social media and/or marketing and jobs. Exclude something like social media. So location, jobs near Minneapolis. So these are some search tips for what you can search for. For her, it was social media she was searching for, but here's some support.twitter.com/articles using advanced search, and that will help you drill down into the information that you particularly are going to be searching for. So you can search by jobs, hashtag jobs, IT jobs, sales jobs, accounting, marketing. This could be helpful information. Gaining followers, share valuable content, retweet other people's valuable content. Don't sell yourself or your product all day long. So you want to look for prime times. There are published materials on Twitter as far as what time of day and what days of the week are good ones for you to retweet your content. So there's time parameters. Is it between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. or is it more like evening time for IT professionals? Perhaps you're going to retweet 5 to 7 p.m. or is it early morning, 6 a.m. Central Time, etc. But then of course you're not reaching Pacific side of the United States. So it depends on your audience again and who you're trying to reach. Engage in conversations, take part in industry Twitter chats. Those are interesting. So Twitter chats can be on topics and they'll have some questions for that topic. And so might say Q1, Q2, and so when you reply to it or give some feedback in the Twitter chat that's going on live, you can then note which question you're responding to. So engaging in conversations, and I have to say that Twitter has been an enormously interactive platform for me, more so than LinkedIn. I find that I'm able to connect with career center leaders that are on Twitter and LinkedIn, but I will be able to engage with them on Twitter much more. So I'm able to have conversations. I get to have a personality that's much more fluid and who I am and active in that social media space. And then I can connect with them in person. So I go to national or international conferences. The international ones are here in the United States for the most part, but what I do is I see people there at the conference who I've met on social media, and I've had pictures taken with like 5 or 6 of us that were on social media together, and then we put it out on Twitter, and I had dinner that we arranged while we were at the conference. I mean, it's been fun. It's great to have your reputation built up by positive interactions with people, and they get to know you for who you are. And it's not about getting a job. It's about, for me, it's all about peer-to-peer engagement and interacting and professional development. And I want to learn from thought leaders. I want to share their content with others so that we're serving others. Remember my kind of branding there? Engage in conversations, share other people's content, all of that. Lists to help you organize your Twitter feed. You can more easily focus on topics. You could even use external platforms like Hootsuite in order to have timing on when your tweets are sent out without you having to be there and do it yourself. You can pre-calendar them, so set them up ahead of time. You can subscribe to someone else's lists. You can title the list and add people to the list. So you can do a lot with Twitter. Wow, there's so much here. So about the Twitter, keeping your image and branding up is, again, that hootsuite.com, buffer.com can schedule your posts, and then about 1 published post per month minimum. But these are some that they're setting goals for. 3 status updates per week, 1 letter of recommendation, 1 new connection per day. So it depends. Letter of recommendation, of course, is LinkedIn. So set up your purpose. Again, have plan, goal setting. When are you going to publish? How often? Post new updates, connect with others, etc. There's Jen's contact information, her LinkedIn and her Twitter. If you want to follow those, that's her organization. And I hope all of this was very valuable information. If you want any personalized attention, again, we can do that at the Career and Transfer Resource Center. As you're on our main page, go here to our main page and the overview section and book an appointment. And the 2 of us will go through and look at what you're put together for your social media presence and ways to improve it or utilize it, okay? Again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. You have a wonderful fall semester. Keep in mind our activities. Intern and job search is one of our skills, is a topic coming up that will have 2 sessions in November, the 2nd and the 6th. And those are online 1 hour with employer topics. And you'll have some breakout time too, so that you can get in and talk to them more individually. Thank you. Take care.